Hello, Keystone students and families. Welcome to Goodnight with Kip. My name is Haley Wagner. I'm an instructional supervisor here at Keystone, and we will be reading Chapter 4 of Amelia Bedelia Road Trip. To get there, go backwards. As it turned out, right was wrong. They drove along for what seemed like hours. There were no more signs. There were no other roads to turn down. There were no houses. There was not one person to ask where they were. Just trees and grass and more trees. "Now this," said Amelia Bedelia's father, "is what I call roaming." "And you," said Amelia Bedelia's mother, "are regular Daniel Boone." "Daniel who?" asked Amelia Bedelia. "Daniel Boone was a famous explorer," said her dad. "He wore a coonskin hat while blazing trails across America." "He sounds cool," said Amelia Bedelia. "Did all that blazing start forest fires?" "Just campfires," said her mom. "Look him up when we get home. Now that's official homework, my dear." Amelia Bedelia got out her journal. She drew a picture of Daniel Boone. She drew a picture of a bumpy road. She drew ants on a blanket. She drew her lunch. She drew her own map key for important stuff she would like to find. Amelia Bedelia's father shook his head. "Man," he said, "I have no idea where we are." "I know," said Amelia Bedelia's mother. "We're in the middle of nowhere." "Well," said her dad, "if this isn't the middle of nowhere, I'm sure we could see nowhere from here." As their car climbed the crest of a hill, Amelia Bedelia spied a farmer in his field and shouted, "A human being!" "Honey, let's ask him where we are," said Amelia Bedelia's mother. Amelia Bedelia's father stopped the car, and her mother lowered her window. "Excuse me, sir," said Amelia Bedelia's mother. "We're lost." "I know," said the farmer. "The only reason anyone drives by here is 'cause they aren't where they're supposed to be." Amelia Bedelia's mom handed the map to the father and pointed to a town. "Can you tell us how to get there?" The farmer squinted and shrugged. "Sorry, lady, you can't get there from here." Amelia Bedelia's father laughed, but not like when something is funny. Her mother didn't know what to say, but Amelia Bedelia did. She leaned forward between the seats and asked, "Mr. Farmer, sir, if you were already there, how would you get back here?" This time the farmer laughed, a real laugh. "Well, little lady, that is a mighty interesting question." Without looking at the map, he began reeling off directions. Her parents nodded politely as he described signs and landmarks and twists and turns. "So that brings you to right here, folks," the farmer said finally. "Excuse me now, I've got to get my cows up to the barn for milking." As he waved goodbye over his shoulder, he called out, "Come on, ladies." A herd of cows trailed behind him, after him, the bells on their necks clanging. Amelia Bedelia's parents looked at the cows and then each other. "Did you catch any of that?" asked her dad. "Not a word," said her mom. "I did," said Amelia Bedelia, handing them her journal. "I wrote it all down. If we go backwards, starting at the top and changing lefts to rights, we'll get to the town." Amelia Bedelia's parents were silent. The truth was, they were dumbstruck. "It's okay," Amelia Bedelia said. "I'll read the directions to you. First go straight for 2 miles, passing by a swamp. Turn left at the rock that looks like a teapot. Drive 3 miles across the railroad tracks. Turn right. Drive for 8 more miles." Amelia Bedelia was looking at her journal, so she missed her parents gazing at her with pride. Amelia Bedelia said her mom, "I think you'll find your way in the world no problem." "Yep," said her dad. "No doubt about that. You're regular Danielle Boone." He began driving, following Amelia Bedelia's directions word for word. By the time they got to the little town on the map, it was almost dark. They checked into a motel. Then they went out for Chinese food. The best part of their meal was the fortune cookie. Amelia Bedelia read her fortune out loud. "Learn to fish and you will never go hungry," she said. Then Amelia Bedelia's mom read hers. "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." She took a bite of her cookie, then said, "I'm glad we aren't walking. I feel like we drove 999 miles today. What does yours say, honey?" Her father leaned back, cleared his throat, and read, "So far, so bad." Amelia Bedelia was amazed. Then he looked up and smiled. "You made that up," she said. "I sure did," he said. "I just like I'm making up this vacation. Sorry today wasn't any fun. I'll plan things better for tomorrow." "Aw, Dad," said Amelia Bedelia. "It wasn't that bad." "And we're together," said her mom. "That's worth a fortune." "Family hug!" yelled Amelia Bedelia. And the three of them hugged right there in the restaurant. As they left, Amelia Bedelia swept their paper fortunes into her pocket. That night she wrote an entry in her journal. She signed her name with the date to make it official, and she taped her mom's 1,000-mile fortune to the first page. Then she read her dad's fortune. What it really said was, "Follow your dreams." That made her feel terrible about what she had just written. Her father's dream had been to go roaming, but things hadn't gone very smoothly. She promised to be nicer to him tomorrow. Everyone needs a dream, she decided, especially the people you love. She tucked her fortune and her dad's fortune into her journal for later. And that concludes chapter 4 of Amelia Bedelia Road Trip, and please join us again for Chapter 5 later, and I hope you have a lovely night.